Ladies and gentlemen, good days. Today we've gone to the third sister of the 7 classics in faith philosophy. Now this time I introduce you a book called 吕氏春秋. 吕氏春秋. 吕氏 means a Mr. Lü. 春秋 means it's a kind of saying telling you about something about history. Now this book is different from Yi Jing, different from Laozi, moral classics, and it's closer to Shangshu. Remember in Shangshu, in the second chapters, we talk about Shangshu. It talks about history of 3 dynasties, Shang, Xiang, Zhou, 3 dynasties. So this one, similar to that, talk about history, about the Zhanguo, the war dynasty warfare, as well as the early Qin dynasty. The interesting areas, it makes use of 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, to tell the special characteristic of the nature. With the view and understanding of this nature, they make recommendation to the dynasty, to the royal family, to the emperor, what their activities should be, how they should rule in accordance to changes in seasonal condition of the nature. It is the 吕氏春秋, the special characters. So in fact, it is the first book in having some sense, saying that people, when you live in the world, you have to integrate with the nature. So, for example, in this book, there is in the spring chapter, in the summer chapter, in chapter 13, there's an introduction. Of course, it is in Chinese classic, so I need to translate in English so that you can make sense from it. It says, starting from ancient time, people are imitating the nature. In the skies, they will interpret and observe it, and they will experience them on the ground, which means in the world. And after exploration and research, and after experiment, then the people can make judgment how they should live well. This is one of the saying in this publication. So it tells you people how you should judge whether you are having a good life. Their answer is, you have to study the sky thoroughly and to experiment it in the ground. So it is the first introduction of the people, how they should behave in their life. Secondly, there is some classic saying, some classic understanding of the nature, which have a very strong influence in China, even up to Qing dynasty and early Chinese national, the early 20th century. So, for example, in the chapter 3, there's a saying. They say what? They say, in the sky is round, and the ground is flat. It's square. It's a square. So if you want to rule well, then you have to stand. You have to work in between the sky and the ground, according to their special characters. Meaning, if the sky is round, then you have to be flexible. You maintain some flexibility because you intimate the ground. And if you want to rule well, then you have to hold some principles, which is the special characteristic of the ground. So it means that later on, if you find some coins in Qing Dynasty even, you see there's a coin with a circle outside and then with a square inside, which means the ground is with the skies. And you hold the coins, then you have to be flexible in one hand, but inside you have to be principle oriented. It is the mindset introduced by 吕氏春秋, and then it is also tell you something about more about the faith, how to we understand our faith from Chinese perspective. Okay, so we stop right here, give you a little bit example, let you have a taste of this book, and then we go through to the other sister in our next section. Thanks for watching. See you next time.